standing right up here in town. And we're at an elevation of around 4,500 feet, and we're going to drive down to here. And then we're going to be, and then we're going to pass here. We're going to continue to drive right down to this place right here. And that's where we're going to start to go into the mine. We'll be down about 35, about 1,000 feet already lower. We're going to walk in this adit that was built in the 80s, come across in here, go over the 16-to-1 shaft, and come right into this area right in here, where we will have the experience of actually being involved where the plate tectonics are occurring.
Oh, awesome.
And that's one of my favorite spots. We'll stop a couple of places along the way. This represents 35 miles of tunnels. And the deepest shaft is the Tightener shaft, goes down 3,000 feet. All of these little dots represent pockets of gold. And while there's no way to prove where another pocket is going to be, there are certain geological trends that can indicate a higher probability for the fluids, the hydrothermal fluids, to be coming up and releasing their gold in these particular areas. You can see right in this part, right on the 800 level, was some of the richest pockets, but they still are spread out all around. And the common question is, how come there's no pockets there? Because nobody's mined there. So over 1.2 million ounces of gold have come out of this mine. And most geologists that have studied the maps and things would say that probably 70% of the vein system that supports this gold is left untapped. So we can't prove it like you can, but there's such strong evidence, but in geological terms for banking and financing, you can't have it proven.
So are there more fault zones down here that you've seen? Like the shear zone, you talked about it up here, but is there more down here where you think there would be?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
The question of fault zones and the geology, I'm not a geologist,
right,
but we have a wonderful map room. It's a priceless, we have priceless maps going back into the very, very early 1900s.
Wow.
But to give you an idea and to be specific on your question, looking at a mine map is very confusing for everybody. So you want to imagine, let's just take this 800 level, and this is what you see. This would be the vein. And so most of the work here is called drift mining. You come in and keep the vein, as you'll see, right in the middle of your drift. But so as you're looking at this dimension, it's coming out, and you're staying on the vein, but there's two types of directions.
Oh, what are the two types of directions?
It's real simple in this thing with following the map. You have strike and dip. So the strike is like the highway when you're driving on the street going north and south. This is the southern part of the mine this way, and this is the northern part. So south, north, that's the strike. The dip is the angle of the structure. In our case, we'll call it the vein, which angles between, say, 27 degrees, which would be relatively flat, up to 60 degrees. So the spacing in here, like if I see a space like right here, I would know that the vein is steeper. The dip is steeper than, say, the distance between here and here, just to give you an idea.
Sorry, I have a question too. So water, how do you deal with the water when you mine down here? Because I'm sure there's water that ponds in the tunnels and such. Is that something pump out, or what do you do with that?
Yes. Well, water is a blessing and a curse for a miner during the production, and then we also use it for various parts of things we do in mining. For example, knocking down the drill dust. So, but what we try to do, the drain tunnel, if you go way down here on the 21 tunnel right here, this is just where it enters into the creek.
Gotcha.
So everything above the 800 level, we try to capture this above and pipe it out. You'll see some of this when we go into the mine. The water level right now is down to we are just lapping the 1700 level right here. We let it come up. We've taken all the water out of the mine, and then we've let it fill back up for economic reasons. And now we held it at the 1300 level, which is right this yellow one right here. And so in the last 4, 5, 6 months, we've lowered the water down to where we're just about ready to expose the 1700 level.
Thank you.
And do you recycle the water, or does the water go out into the creeks?
No, the water goes into the creek. It's wonderful water. It's the pH is. We've been doing water testing since the 1980s, so we have 30 years of data, and it's very, very healthy water. It's not acidic. It's 7.1 or maybe, just almost 7.1, which is about the same as Kanaka Creek. The interesting, I don't know if I have a chance to go to Kanaka Creek, but that might be worthwhile even taking a look at that. That is named Kanaka Creek because the Hawaiians came up and they came up there to do the panning of the gold, and they named it Kanaka Creek, and it's still named Kanaka Creek.